Are we live, Nicholas? Is this thing live?
Quite possibly.
I
We are
don't
live.
know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's
I
when it was good.
shared with Violet last week the intro to the show where I sang Taylor Swift,
Oh,
and she died. She was both she both thought it was hilarious, um, and she was like, "Oh my god, you fool."
yeah. That would make me uncomfortable if I was if you were my dad. Like that's not
Yeah.
not just you, it's just in general. Like oof.
Oh, and now I've been trying to embarrass her. Are you familiar with the 6'7" trend, Nicholas?
No, I'm not.
So apparently it has its origins in some rap song, but it's taken the internet and it's taken children by storm. They
Okay.
just go around and go 6'7", 6'7" for no rhyme or fucking reason.
Okay.
So I've one of my best friends I've known since I was 6 years old. He's known as Uncle Sasquatch. He is a very tall gentleman,
I'd hope so.
and it's a funny story about that. A middle school gym teacher gave him the name Sasquatch.
Mm.
Sasquatch, but you can run the mile in 3 steps.
Sounds like the kid's George Costanza.
Well, so
Can't stand ya.
can't stand you. No, Leo Dupree was the man. God rest his soul. He played on one of the U.S. Olympic hockey teams
Well,
and would have gone pro, but he took a puck to the throat, and that was the end of his career. And that's
that
why
was
he
really
talked like that. Anyways,
well now I'm an asshole.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that was a funny comp. So I out of nowhere, I go, hey kid, I go, how tall do you think Uncle Sasquatch is? She goes, 6'2", and I go 6'7", and she just rolled her eyes and she wanted to smile. I could see it; it was there, but she didn't want to give me the satisfaction. But I knew I had made it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages. TLDR Studios probably presents to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest, only somewhat sick, best podcasting team in the world. He's the comic book writer, Nick Friar. I am your ailing, only semi-dying, friendly neighborhood backcracker, Dr. Joe. And together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club, baby. How you doing, Nicholas?
I'm doing great, and then you sound great too. Not that you sounded poor last time around, but you just
No,
like I
I
can
sound
tell
like
like
shit.
you're on
Sounded
the
like
mend.
shit, still sound like shit, but I am
I,
feeling a bit better.
I would not say that, but what I will say when you said 6'7" and then you started bringing rap into it, I was like, are they listening to the Little Wayne song from back in the day? Like 6 foot, 7 foot. Like I was like, oh wow, that
No,
that came back full circle. That's where my head went. So
I
that's a
know
generous difference.
I couldn't tell you the artist's name. I couldn't tell you the name of the song. I can't even tell you how it's referenced in but it's wild how these things just like take off like wildfire. And
Yeah,
South Park did a great episode on it last week or the week before.
they are
Um,
crazy how fast they move. It's insane.
yeah, they're it's tremendous. But anyways, Nicholas, excited to talk about comic books this week, and it's just a what's new this week. So what does that mean, Nicholas?
That means that we had a Friar Side Chat, which is a conversation with creators across the industry. Generally, we talk to writers specifically, but we do talk to artists quite a bit. We try and mix in other people in the industry as well. And last Friar Side Chat, the one that dropped this week, was actually with someone who's a writer, but also covers the comic book industry over for The Beat, as well as a journalist, Zach Quaintance. We were talking to him about his Kickstarter book that is fully funded now, Macabre Valley. You can go and back that and check it out, secure a copy for yourself up until the end of October. So up through Halloween, you can go and secure a single issue. This is actually going to be an annual series that he's going to be telling every spooky season. So Joe and I got a chance to look at that first issue. We had a great time reading it. We had a great time talking with Zach, and also all the New York Comic Con buzz. I feel like people are still buzzing off of all the DC news, especially with the Vertigo stuff and everything. We got a chance to talk with Zach about some of that, not just the news itself, but he was in the room when the announcements were being made at New York Comic Con too. So he got a little bit of a feel in how everybody was reacting to all the news. So we had a great time with that. And a reminder, if you're watching us over on YouTube right now, first, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for following the show. If you're finding us over on Instagram Live right now, if you want to listen to a Friar Side Chat, the only place you can find those are on our audio channels. So that is Apple, Spotify, Geeks Worldwide Radio, Amazon, when it's working, Audible when it's working, because apparently the internet was down because of them the other day. All those places you can find our Friar site chats and our audio episodes. So you can find these mainline episodes or these what's new episodes as well. But those are the only places you can find the Friar site chats. And while you're there, leave a 5-star rating and review. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of Tenacious Doc. That is
real quick.
everything for me, Joe. But yep.
Real quick, this is important. This might be of the utmost importance, Nicholas.
Oh boy.
You talked about creators, we talked to mostly writers, which is true. We've had editors and Zach and artists and I think we've had a lot of interaction this past week on the YouTubes. Really make sure you follow us there and subscribe and get alerts and that's really, really important. But we've been having some really good dialogue. And our friend of the show, who is yet to be on the show but needs to be on the show, is artist Joe Mulvey.
Yes.
And he had a comment. I don't know if you saw this, Nicholas, but I
did not.
saved it here. I saved it because I wanted to shout Joe out because he is defending the wall, right?
Ooh.
He is defending the wall, my friend. Stay strong, Joe, he says, exclamation point. Don't let that savage DB make you bend the knee. Exclamation point. My guy got my back. Got my back. Joe,
wow.
Cairo strong, baby. Cairo strong. We need to have Joe on the show.
Oh,
not
my
for
God.
his work, just so that we can defend the wall together. But seriously, I would love to have Joe on, and he listens and or watches. But he is someone we need to discuss. I know we're talking about how the sausage is made here on the program a little bit, but Joe has been an ardent supporter of us, and I would love to chat with him about his process and his books and all that. I think he would be a great TLDR guest.
I agree. I think now that we've talked to Zach, there's one other one that we want to maybe try and sneak in ahead of the end of the month. I'm not sure if we will, but there's one other one we have on our radar. There's no reason we can't be chatting with Joe and see what's up and see what his schedule looks like and get him on the program. 100%. Great call. And normally we try and keep those things close to the vest because we have a history of jinxing things, but not worried this time around. All
Looking at you, Lemire. Looking at you,
not even
baby.
remotely his fault. Not even remotely.
Not even close.
But we got a lot to get to today. We are just doing a breakdown of the books that are coming out this week. There's a lot to get to, and we're not doing any catching up necessarily this week. But before we talk about these books, Joe, and obviously you'll take us through Marvel as you do. I thought it was interesting what you said before we were getting rolling. The like how you felt reading all the books that you were reading this week. Obviously, there was a lot for us to get through, but you were feeling a specific emotion throughout all of these.
This week fucking stressed me out, bro. Like, I'm in a compromised emotional state anyways. Like, that's my baseline.
Yep.
I had COVID and bronchitis on top of that. So now I'm really compromised. And then fucking you guys throw this shit at me. Like, holy cow. I was stressed. A lot of these books stressed me the fuck out. Some were like really, really suspenseful. Some just went in directions where I wasn't expecting. Some decided to throw fucking riddles at me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Massiverse people. They love to fucking mess with you.
So really it was a week, man. But I say that in the best way because like, having all that time to read, being sick as shit, like was great. And even though there were so few books I didn't catch up, the books that we're going to highlight and discuss this week, like, holy cow, like they stressed me the fuck out.
And honestly, when you told me that, I was like, oh yeah, you know what? That does kind of make sense. There was a lot of tension in these books in a different way than we're necessarily used to. So, this was a great week across the board. I'd say there is probably one publisher that won the week, but I feel like we say that about them every single week. We'll get to that though. I'm getting ahead of myself. What do we got from Marvel?
All right, from Marvel, we are getting close to the end here with Ultimate Spider-Man issue 22. Yeah. The Ultimates issue 17. DB. Look at that. Doc's starting a war. I'm coming for you, Joe Mulvey. We should have DB and Joe on at the same time.
We got to have Joe on by himself for once first before we do anything.
True. And then we'll set up the battle royale.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
Anyways, let me start again. From Marvel Comics for New Comic Book Day, October 22nd, 2025, the year of our year. Ultimate Spider-Man issue 22, The Ultimates issue 17, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion issue 5, Fantastic Four issue 4, Miles Morales Spider-Man issue 39, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu issue 13, Predator versus Marvel Universe issue 3. This is one of the books that stressed me the fuck out.
Ooh. Okay.
Percy. Wow. Holy smokes. Like, he is not held back at all, period, in writing, but he is really not held back with his Predator versus the Marvel Universe series. This was one of the most action-packed, what the shit did I just read comics you will read this year, Nicholas. So catch up,
Yep.
will you?
Yep.
You
I
want to
know. I keep being like, I got to read the Spider-Man thing first, but I you know what? This weekend, one of my days just freed up a little bit, so I'm going to spend some time on that.
Hey, listen, you got to follow up with me more often, buddy. Okay, like if we threw this out there in passing, then I got sick of shit, and then you're like, "So it's just set in stone, right?" I'm like, "What?"
I'm not.
You fucking me. Radioactive Spider-Man issue 1, X-Men Book of Revelations issue 1. Did you read this, Nicholas? I meant to. I didn't get to.
No, I'm going to be honest with a lot of this apocalypse stuff. Like,
yes, I'm aware, but this one, because it's Jed McKay, so this one like piqued my interest.
Okay, that's fair.
Jeff Delanshock issue 5, The Last Wolverine issue 1, Marvel Zombies Red Band issue 2, Jedi Knights issue 8, Omega Kids issue 1, The Undead Iron Fist issue 2, Predator Black, White, and Red issue 4, Spider-Girl issue 5, and Uncle Scrooge Earth's Mightiest Duck issue 3.
Oh, you know what? That just reminded me of one of the anthologies you were reading there. Our buddy Gary Maloney, who we haven't had it on the show in a little bit.
Yes, he's going to be writing.
Yeah, he's got his Marvel debut coming up with Marvel Black, White, and Blood and Guts. The FOC for that is coming up on everybody. That's going to feature Punisher, Blade, and Gary's writing a story on Hitmonkey. And I know Philip Kennedy Johnson is writing one of those stories in there as well. So the FOC for that, though, is October 27th. So the Monday after this new comic book day, the last Monday before Halloween. So if you're interested in picking that one up, definitely let your local comic shop know sooner rather than later. All right, over from DC, we got Detective Comics issue 1102. We got Superman 31, Justice League Unlimited issue 12, The Flash issue 26, Green Lantern issue 28, Green Arrow issue 29, New History of the DC Universe issue 4, Harley Quinn issue 55, Green Lantern Dark issue 7, Harley Quinn in Paradise issue 40, and then we got Immortal Legend Batman issue 3. We talked with Kyle and Matt Groom a little while ago on the show ahead of the series beginning, and I joke about the Massiverse guys playing mind games, but the second I saw like riddle stuff at the very beginning, I'm like, I'm interested to see where this is going, but I'm not going to try and figure this shit out beforehand because there's no way. I suck at riddles.
I do too. I tried like hell.
Oh, God bless you.
And I'm staring. I am just but the thing with riddles, I very much like, I'm not good at riddles at all. I need my hand held. I need to be pointed in a direction. And there was a subtle thing that was said that I was like, okay, like, but
see, that's the I had one thing where I was like, oh, I'm noticing a thing, and it came up later. Other than that, I'm like, I couldn't figure shit out though.
But that's okay, right? Because if you're like us and you suck at riddles, it's okay. Trust me, it's gonna be okay. This was a great issue, and
Awesome,
and again, I go, oh, fucking Kyle's at it again. God damn it.
Yep. It really was like, this was a great read. Erica D'Urso's best issue of the series so far.
Tremendous.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Tremendous.
Some of my favorite action for sure. And then to round things out, our favorite Absolute Universe title, Absolute Wonder Woman issue 13. Kelly Thompson, of course, writing this series. Not Hayden Sherman on this one, but Matthias Bergara, who has done quite a few of the other issues in this series when Hayden is when they're doing like these mini arcs in between the larger arcs. And why I want to talk about this one specifically was Diana's dealing with this bizarre new challenge, and it puts her in a position, in a light that we have not seen her before, and I loved the way that that battle took shape in her response to all of it as well. Look, there was some great action from Matthias Bergara in this issue, but when I say all of that, I am honestly more talking about just the mental processes that this character is going through. And then you get the revelation that comes at the end of this issue,
Mm.
and I can't wait to see how this 2-issue arc concludes, in the message that it's going to provide. And that's one thing I think with Absolute Wonder Woman, it is probably the most thoughtful book of all. A lot of the Absolute books are actually pretty freaking thoughtful. Absolute Martian Manhunter was extremely thoughtful, but Absolute Wonder Woman has that element in there every issue as well. But I'm very curious how this is going to conclude with for just this arc alone, because this is one where it's like, oh, we're addressing a specific thing, and I'm very curious how Wonder Woman is going to break down everything that she's gone through on an emotional level in this mini arc.
It felt like Diana's greatest challenge yet, to be honest with you.
Yes, it did. I
Right?
completely agree with that.
And so there was a lot of external conflict, there's a lot of internal conflict,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of self-discovery that's going on as well. So, very, very challenging times, for Diana, but this was, an absolutely tremendous issue.
I thought you were gonna say not just for Diana, but for me as well, or maybe the inverse. But
No, this
you
is
and
the
Wonder
one.
Woman, one and the same.
Well, this thing kinda stressed me out too, just because the pacing of it was
Yeah.
just like bang, 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 bang,
Yes.
and I'm already kinda I think I'm coming off reading Terminator, or it's
Mm.
one of the other books we're gonna discuss in just a few moments, but, like, I read this after I had just read a bunch of other books that sort of, had my heart pumping there.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's an intense week, and that issue was no exception. From Boom, what do we have?
Alright, I'll take us to this next 2 here. From Boom, we have Hello Halloween issue 1. We have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Halloween special issue 1. And then The Killer Affairs of the State 2 issue 5. This has been an absolutely excellent series. And this is sort of, again, this was another, sort of very introspective issue for our main assassin there, and sort of the things that have been going on in this particular story arc. So excellent series there. And then from Mad Cave, we have Speed Racer Tales from the Road issue 1.
Really quick, because we're getting all this
Yeah.
Speed Racer stuff, I just want to clarify for everybody. This is a quarterly series that we're going to be getting from Mad Cave Studios, and they're going to have one-shot stories in there. We get actually a Spurtle Racer story from David Pepos and Alicio Zono in this. And this is like more the backup story. But if you've been liking what Pepos has been doing over on Speed Racer, you're going to like this issue. And again, like another instance of Pepos working with his artist and getting just like another fast-paced, fun story. The Racer X portion of this is written by Mark London with art by Sebastian Perez, and loved the story and what Mark London brought to the table here. But Perez's colors are fucking insane. This is, I think, a great week all around from an art standpoint and from a story standpoint. But I think this art is what blew me away the most this week, is Perez's work.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, that was one of the ones I didn't get to check out that I'm looking to check out. Another one that I didn't get to check out, but you did, was Werewolf,
Mhm.
issue 1.
Yeah,
And
not
then real
that
quick,
one. No, I just want to say quickly, not as much for me. That one necessarily just didn't do it for me.
they all can't be our style or our cup of tea, Nicholas.
Well said.
But Werewolf issue 1 might be for you, so definitely check that one out.
Agreed.
A book that I want to tease real quick, because this will be my gem of the week this week, and I wanted to shout out to our good pal John Lees,
Mhm.
and also Sally Cantorino, who's been on the show with John to discuss Orla issue 3. If you're listening to this live, or if you're listening to this on New Comic Book Day, make sure you check out Orla issue 3. I'm going to get into it a little bit more detail, but this was the best issue yet for this series, which I have absolutely loved. This, we get a lot more sort of behind the scenes stuff. And you want to talk about some stressful situations. This issue takes a fucking turn on a dime, and you just, there's a character who just, I want to put into a chipper shredder foot first
Oh boy.
on slow. So I sympathize with our good pal Orla. So make sure you check that out. But there's 2 books, Nicholas, that we really want to dive deeper into today, and I'm gonna let you kick things off first.
Okay, It Killed Everyone But Me, issue 2. Now, this first issue sold out. I believe they did a second printing for this. We talked with Ryan Parrott ahead of this series beginning. Had a great time. I'm always talking with Ryan, and he withheld some Massiverse secrets from us at that time too. Which I'm still,
I sure did.
I messaged him as soon as I saw that, and I was like, "Dude, like, awesome!" And then Letitia,
you sandbagging son of a bitch, you old sailor, you.
And the artist on this series is Letizia Candassini, and there are at least 3 images in this issue that warrant a read this in the daylight advisory. You could argue there's probably even more than that, Joe. But there were 3 that came to my mind, and I was like, not debatable. These are some horrifying shit. This is an amazing issue for like Letizia Candassini. I like we said that in the first issue, like how obviously we really like Ryan's writing in general, but her art style, Letizia's art style, really just sets a tone of like a familiar tone, but also like there's a level of dread in everything that's going on, and in the colors too as well. Just added a lot to the lines in this story. And in this issue, we get some major steps forward with regards to the plot, and get to learn about some key pieces from the past. And there's a major player who we spent some time with that I'm like, I cannot wait to learn more about this character. But at the same time, I'm also like, I wouldn't be stunned if we only learned so much. So that way, like, we're on edge with this character every time they're on the page. So just, outstanding first issue. And for those who are like, I really like the first issue and picked it up, should I go get the second? Yes, you absolutely should.
Okay, so that's awesome. And this book was awesome. It was tremendous. DB, if you're still in the chat, my friend, we have to put our professional differences aside, because I will 100% compliment you on one of my favorite books of the week. And I mentioned this with Orla as being the best issue in that series. The same can be said about Red Vector issue 3, written by DB Andry and Tim Daniel, with art by Chris Evenhouse. This I love this series. I've loved it right from the rip. We had DB and Tim on to discuss this ahead of its release, and each issue's gotten better, right? But this issue to me was like the best. Again, like, you want to talk about a cliffhanger ending that like was set up subtly a few panels beforehand.
My goodness.
And then bang, you get like, holy shit. Like the events that this was a very action-packed issue. And we learn a lot more about one of our central characters. And another character, he gets bit by the butterfly, so to speak, and I cheered it on. I loved it. It's like, yeah, sit down, bitch. You this guy.
You know what's funny? I was like, is that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Real piece of shit, slick back hair and everything. And I was like,
yeah,
comedic relief for me, but I'm like, I wonder if Joe likes this character or not.
Oh no, he sucks. I'm like, yeah, sit down, buddy. Right. Time to pay the piper and stop running your dumb big mouth. So this issue had everything, right? Great storytelling, some great character development, great action. But man, the ending. And what I loved most about the ending was that not just that it was a cliffhanger, but like I said, a panel or 2 before, you just get this little piece in the art that kind of like leads right up to it. Like, oh, that was so good. So Red Vector, rush out, catch up if you haven't been reading it. DB, I love you, brother. Excellent issue. Excellent issue.
The covers on this series too, and all the design work that I'm assuming Tim is having a big hand in. Like, dude, I love it. Like that alone is like, you have to check the series out. But yes, like when like the ending, but I'm like, oh, the breadcrumbs were all there. Like, oh, it was so good. Like, I love that. And it's like, wait a second, what? And so it's one of those things too. It's like, I got to go back and like, where was all of it? And I really feel like Chris Evenhouse's art did a lot for like laying those breadcrumbs as well. Yeah, it was 100%. Agreed. Like, this is this was my favorite issue of this series to this point. Looking over, so again, a massive week for Mad Cave, where we're checking out all of their books. From Dark Horse, we got Star Wars Tales of the Nightlands issue 2, Powers 25 issue 2, Captain Henry and the Graveyard of Time issue 1, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, Children of the Night issue 4, and a lot of cubed ice. Critical Role Vox Machina. Did I say that right? Is that what it is? I forget.
Yeah.
Is that a Seinfeld thing?
It is. It is. It's when the Newmanium, right? Newman and Kramer are throwing competing New
Oh,
Year's Eve parties, and
wow.
he's got Christopher Cross booked, but he needs ice. Kramer's got the ice, something like to that effect. So
Okay.
they combine the two parties, the Newmanium.
Okay. Yeah, the New Manium rings a bell. The parties ring a bell, but I cannot. That's when I probably haven't seen a whole hell of a lot. But anyways, I will say I've been using the interesting texture a lot recently. Remember the Lloyd Braun and the hot dog? I've been using that one a lot recently. Anyways,
Was it Japanese gum or the Chinese gum or whatever the hell?
it was the hot dog that hot dog that had been in like the
Yeah. But there was an episode with Lloyd Braun where he's like giving like gobs of gum out there. Oh,
Oh
it's
yeah,
Chinese gum. It's fantastic.
Lloyd Braun. Serenity now, insanity later.
Insanity later. Amen.
All time line. All right. So where was I? Critical Role, Vox Machina Origins 1, issue 5, Nocturnals, The Sinister Path, issue 2, and then Avatar, The Gap Year, Tipping Point, issue 1.
And Dynamite.
Mm.
Dynamite. The books this week were Dynamite. We've got Space Ghost, issue 4. Thundercats Lost, issue 7, written by Ed Brisson. I love all things Thundercats. Right? Thundercats, here's a little tease, may be winning itself a floppy this year.
Ooh.
We have Silver Hawks, issue 9, also written by Ed Brisson, and I believe the 10th issue will be the last issue. I've loved Silver Hawks. It's been just, again, it's one of those properties that's like, before my time, I was never really into Silver Hawks. This has been a fun as hell sci-fi, sci-fi series, and I found myself enjoying every bit of it. And then the big book from Dynamite this week, a book that I have been anticipating since the first Terminator series that Declan Shalvey wrote, and that is the Terminator Metal, or I should say Terminator Metal issue 1. This is written by Declan Shalvey and Rory McConville, with art by Lorenzo Ray. And this is Terminator's got a special place in my heart because I remember like T2, like that was one of the first R-rated movies my dad was like, we're going to see Terminator. Right. And I remember the soundtrack. Like I remember having that Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusions 2 soundtrack. I remember when the video came out and it had the kid the kid from Salute Your Shorts, the redheaded kid, was in T2 briefly, and I think he was the mute. But so I like all this. It just brings back like a certain part of my childhood. So like the Terminator is always going to have a special part in my heart. So Terminator Metal issue 1. This was a book that absolutely stressed me the fuck out, and it was one of the most brilliant books that I read this week because as you're going on, like the reason why it stressed me out was because the pacing of this issue was just sort of like it was suspenseful, right from the rip. Like you've got a guy and you've got his buddy Terminator, and they've got an objective and they've got to get from point A to point B. And there's a lot of fucking obstacles between point A and point B. And you and I, like we always say, don't trust the robots. Don't trust the robots. And I think what Declan and Rory did in this was it was a really emotionally layered issue. And the way that this issue ends in particular, Nicholas, like, holy shit. Like,
yeah,
you could see it coming, like, because if you understand the robots like we do and our fear for them, like, but like you see it coming, but you don't see it coming. And this to me was one of the more brilliant comics that I've read, not just this week, but in a little while, just because of Declan and Rory's storytelling, how they layered it all together. And just like you talk about like setting that hook, baiting you and reeling you in, right? It's 100% what they did, man. And Terminator Metal, 100%. pick it up, read it. You'll understand what I get. And I think each issue is going to be a different story. It's almost anthology like, I
Yeah.
believe.
I couldn't find that language anywhere specifically, but just in looking at the second issue synopsis, just to kind of get an idea,
Yeah, I did the
it
same.
seems like that's the case. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're on the same page there. But yeah, this is the book that surprised me the most this week,
Yeah.
quite honestly. And when you're like, could see something coming, like where the ending was going, not until like very late, and I was like, it was too late at that point. I loved this issue, and yes, it was anxiety inducing, and it's if you haven't been reading the Terminator mainline, and honestly, if you're just not the biggest Terminator fan, it's like, oh, I'll just check this out, whatever. It's extremely, extremely accessible. It's like a subplot
100%.
within the larger war, but it was fascinating. I really enjoyed it. Very well paced, and from an artistic standpoint too, with Lorenzo Ray and Colin Craker did the colors. More so, Craker's colors. I
Mhm.
felt like I was getting a Daniel Warren Johnson kind of
Yes.
vibe to all of
Yes.
this. Yeah, and it's like it's not it's I wouldn't say Ray's like a carbon copy at all. Like it has its own style, but it felt very familiar to me. As I was reading, it, like, oh, that just kind of enhanced it a little bit further too.
You could be completely new to Terminator, read this book, and understand it completely and enjoy it
100%. Yep.
immensely.
Yep.
Yeah.
1000%. Yep. Absolutely. No question about it. Really enjoyed that one. Definitely like if you're looking to take a flyer on a book this week, something different,
Oh,
that's
hands
the
down.
one to do it with on a first issue. From AWA, we got Gaia issue 1. Then from IDW, I'm going to do these next two, Joe. TMNT issue 12, which I believe is the final issue of Aaron's run on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, is it?
I
I didn't
believe
know
so.
his run was. Did you see the numbers for TMNT? It might have been 13 or whatever. They're doing a blind bag. It's already sold like millions of copies because
Really?
of this going to be a blind. It's going to be like, I retweeted it the other day. Um, Something about like they've got like so many covers. They're blind. The power of the blind bag, and it's already sold like some ridiculous number.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, and it's funny that probably that people are probably pre-ordering like multiple versions of that
Oh,
too,
100%.
because
Do we
they're
know who's writing? Who you know who's taking over for Jason Aaron? Well,
I'm
it's a
not
bummer. I did not know that. I enjoy Jason Aaron's writing very much, and I mean it makes sense with where they sort of ended, or at least with the last issue. Like, okay, with the direction it's going in, but it's sad for me. I don't want to see Jason leave this title.
so for issue 13, and I'm assuming this is going to be it going forward. Jean Luen Yang and Freddie E. Williams.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's
Yep.
I
Yeah.
like Gene Luen Yang. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like Freddie Williams as well too. So that's definitely a good pairing to, take over. As much as I
Mm.
agree with you, like I've really enjoyed what Jason Aaron's done, especially with Donnie personally above all else. As somebody
Mhm.
who's not a big Donnie guy, you liked what he's done with Donnie, right?
I've loved what he's done with everything.
Mm,
It's been such a refreshing take on the turtles and a bit of bringing it back, I think, to their roots, if you will, right? So it's not like, oh, we're just gonna go and play the hits and pop, 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 pop. There was something very introspective. It's been the word of the day because I think it's been that kind of week with comics, with the writers and the characters.
mm,
But like the characters have all like because we got each issue, like each turtle got their own issue. So we got to learn about their bullshit. And then we
mhm.
went through the journey of them discovering, going through their bullshit together and then getting through that, right? You know what I mean? So like it's been quite the journey. And so
Yeah,
like I think it's been dark and gritty and that takes it back to its roots, but
yeah,
there's also been that just that emotional level with each of these turtles that you don't typically get. Usually Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just here are the turtles. They're gonna smash and kick the shit out of things and we're gonna get some punchlines and they're gonna eat pizza and great. Aaron's killed it.
yeah, absolutely, and all the artists that he's worked with along the
Yeah.
way too. We also got from IDW this week, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures issue 30. So if you got a kid, that's more so a book to get for them while you're reading the mainline Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then we got Star Trek Voyager Homecoming issue 2, Sonic the Hedgehog Chaotix's 30th anniversary special issue 1. That is a mouthful. Monster High World's Scare issue 3, and then from Titan we have Savage Sword of Conan Reforged issue 1.
Young Grasshopper is learning.
I had to. With the Conan,
Conan.
it's all there.
You'll get to a point where you're more confident with it, and you'll just say Titan, Savage Sword of Conan, right? And it'll just roll right off the tongue, right? I appreciate the effort,
I
and
was
it's
really
coming along
nervous.
greatly,
Thank you
you
so
know.
much. I
But
feel
the confidence will come because the way you should was from Titan, Savage Sword of Conan, Reforged, right?
thank you.
It,
Thank you.
it, it, it'll get there. It'll be more
Okay.
fluid, but valiant effort,
I appreciate the
valiant fucking
confidence
effort.
and thank you for the constructive criticism in the
You
notes.
got it.
It
You
means
got
a
it. You
lot.
got it. From Image and Skybound, we have King Spawn issue 50, Skinbreaker issue 2. You also have to pace it too. You can't just like do everything. You gotta know when to sprinkle it in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
Um,
course. Of course, you're not a pro.
Gunslinger Spawn issue 48, Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man issue 3, News from the Fall. This is another fucking issue that stressed me out. Jesus Christ! And it's mostly the art style that
Yeah, there's a certain
that gets
type of
me.
I haven't I was thinking about this when I was reading this issue. I don't know what it is, but there's got to be like a certain type of music for this, like just an instrumental that's like perfect to read with it. I'm curious if we ever have whenever we have Condon on again, asking
Oh
about that because it feels like there's like a scratchy kind of like eerie like
yeah,
music that's
100.
perfect.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I know
Okay.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that would fuck me up even more.
Yep.
Um, let's see. Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn, issue 10. Sisterhood, a Hyde Street story, issue 4. Creep Show, issue 2. Hornsby and Halo, issue 11. No Man's Land, issue 2. Lazarus Fallen, issue 5. Drawing Blood, issue 9. And then 2 books that continue to stress me out. One, the most out of all of them. You know what? I'll kick things off here so you can end,
Cool.
and that's Escape, issue 3, written by Rick Remender with art by Daniel Acuna. Man, like this is so we both read issue 1. We talked about it on the show, and we absolutely loved it. And that was a very fast paced, like boom, like like this is a World War II setting book, right? And you know what you're gonna get here. And then like I I had fallen behind on issue 2, but then I read it, not too long after it came out. So I made sure to stay on top of issue 3. And this issue was just like every single panel, every single page was pure suspense,
Hmm.
right? Is this guy going to get it? When's he going to get it? How's he going to get it? How's he going to get out of this? How's he going to, right? And it's just like, this was a book that was not just high octane, fast paced, but like it literally had my heart going, a million miles an hour. Right. And I think that's what Remender was trying to achieve here, with this issue. Cause like, you're really rooting for this guy and you really, or Bear, right?
Hmm.
Remender and
Yes.
his anthropomorphic animals. But you're really rooting for that character, and you want them to not only live and survive, but you really want to see them, carry out, this sort of last ditch mission, right? Because he's the only one left. So this is just like an absolute banger of a book in series, but this issue in particular, like I said, just had me on the edge of my seat, which I love because comics don't always do that. Like even when we're reading like high action, superhero books or whatever, like like I was physically on the edge of my seat reading this book, just going, wow, the fuck, what the holy shit, how's it, just constantly in my head questioning like what's going on, how's it going on, how's it, and anticipating that next page, and hoping what I think is going to happen doesn't happen. You know what I mean? So that to me is like the telltale sign of just an excellently written comic and an excellent story. And Escape, man, like, whoo, yeah, it might be a world full of animals, but Jesus Christ, they are fucking vicious.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what too, like what we've seen from Daniel Acuna throughout this series, like the first issue was like obviously it gets like very violent as the issue goes along, but like there's like, it's also his art style is beautiful too,
Yeah.
especially with the colors. And this issue is like there is a beauty to it, but at the same time, like you said, like it's so fast paced and it's just action, 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 constantly moving, like you said, constantly on the edge of your seat. I just like this shows his versatility
Hmm.
immensely in this issue, and I thought you summed it up really well. The only thing I wanted to add is all this is going on. You get this crazy, action throughout all of it, And then you get to the end and it's like, well, everything just fucking changed. And I don't know, like, the direction. This can change the direction, tone of this story completely. And I was like, well, that's it makes perfect sense, obviously, too, of course. So yeah, it was another outstanding issue. Escape has been a very, very fun series on all fronts. The other book that we are both reading that we wanted to touch upon was Exquisite Corpses, issue 6. Of course, James Tynan and Michael Walsh are writing and illustrating on each of these issues, but they also have other creators involved as well. Tyler Boss also wrote on this issue, and then Gavin Fullerton also was an illustrator on this issue. And one of the things off the rip that I really appreciate about this is a nice like checkpoint issue to start things off, where it's like, I didn't think I needed it necessarily because we have an idea. They sum some stuff up about who's still surviving at the end of each issue and what have you. But it was like, oh, yeah, we're a decent chunk of the way in. This is where things are at. This is where everybody is. This is who's still on the board. Blah blah blah. And this is like kind of what we know about these characters. It gives you a second to like just reset, and I really appreciated that. Didn't think I needed it necessarily, but I'm very glad that I have that now. And we get to in like each issue we've spent a little more time with like characters who we haven't seen as much on the battlefield, that is like the killers. We've spent a mixed amount of time with each of them. Some we've seen pop up quite a bit, but we haven't spent a lot of time, all this different stuff. But in this issue we get to spend more time with a couple characters who we've one more so than others in particular, where we get to know them a little bit. And I was really thrown off by the wrinkle that added by some decisions that are made by one of these killers. And obviously I know I'm speaking very vaguely, but it's important that we do that because we don't want to spoil things and what have you. But there's one character who makes some decisions late in this issue, and I was like, I didn't see this coming at all. Like, this is a total new wrinkle in the mix. We know that there are characters who have of these like hired assassins that have different motivations and different views and what have you. But this one, I did not expect them to be different in that regard. I expect them to be different, but not in that vein. And I'm just curious, what does that mean going forward? It's just elevating again the tension in like who's going to be the assassin that ends up surviving this. Because I'm assuming it's only going to be one. That's what it's supposed to be. Who the heck knows? But I'm like, now it's like, oh, okay, that one could be the other one too. So it's I really enjoy this issue. Again, this has just been one of the best series on the shelves throughout its run, if not the best.
There's a game within a game, I think, that we're eventually going to see and going to get, right, because we've got like the heads of the regions, right, that are putting this thing together, and you're starting to see chess game being played there, and we know what the game is there. But I think, and this is just a theory and a hope on my part, is that we're going to get another game that's being played, like one on the battlefield that's not just these killers just trying to, be the last one standing, just trying to sort of, out kill each other. Like I think there's some other machinations going on there. What I love about this series too is that, like you said, sort of each issue sort of like, I think like there's one story plot which might be maybe the dominant is there's the focus on a particular serial killer, right, or killer, right, and the one that they focus a lot on, this one, what I say pre-show that I was going to refer to him as, that little Boy Scout shit or whatever it was. He kind of reminds us of a character from Hyde Street, Pranky.
Yep.
Man, there's some scenes with this little shit that make you want to jump into the comic and strangle him yourself.
Yep.
Right. Like, I don't advocate hitting kids, obviously. It's a comic book character that we're talking about. But this little shit, like, oh my God, like he just evoked something in me. And I just like was so like, oh, I don't fucking like you.
Wait, so here's the real question. Who do you dislike more, this character or the one that you were alluding to when we were talking about Red Vector?
Oh, this kid for sure.
Oh,
right?
wow.
Because this
Okay.
kid's cool because he's a real evil sack of shit.
Yes.
You
The other
know,
guy's
the
just a loser.
big mouth or loud mouth. He's just a loud mouth prick, right? He's a coward. I don't think he would actually hurt. This kid. Oh, what a piece of shit! What a devious bastard.
Yep.
That kid is. So excellent issue. Excellent.
Yes. Speaking of Red Vector, it looks like DB is extending a little bit of
DB, my guy.
an olive branch to you. I guess chiropractor can be right about comics. I don't know about that necessarily. I'm a little worried about DB. He must be held hostage right now by Joe Mulvey. All right, so that is going to do it for us this week. TBD on whether it's a Fireside Chat next week or a mainline episode. Wouldn't mind mainline, but we have an interview that we're been hoping to get to for a bit. So we will see if that all comes together. Either way, make sure you subscribe to the show on our audio channels and definitely subscribe over on YouTube and or Instagram, because whenever we post our little clips, our one-offs of reviews of the week, we also put preview pages there, which you do not get during the live stream. So we always give you something different on all the different platforms and ways that you consume the show. Anyways, Joe, anything else before we get rolling? You could just say your tag and we could go. If you could do that.
Your tag, let's go.
No, your tagline.
Keep reading, baby.